Alright, time for another one of my quirky art projects. So I watched the Chainsaw Man movie and I absolutely fell in love with it. I liked the anime too, but like, this movie is pure art, man. But this isn't a review of the movie, no. I was so enamored with the world and the characters of this universe that for my next art thing to do on my channel, I decided to do another weird mashup. What if Super Smash Bros characters were in Chainsaw Man? So basically what I did here was pick the most prominent characters in Chainsaw Man and then look at the roster in Smash Bros to see which characters would fit best in each role. The parameters that I used to determine that kinda varied a bit, but it was basically like their personality, their role in the story, and I guess just their overall vibe, you know? You see what I mean soon, so let's get started with the Chainsaw Man himself. Actually, before I begin though, please like and subscribe. Art projects like this take a lot of work, so I just want it to be worth it, you know? Anyway, let's go.
Stay back, I got a chainsaw!
So full transparency here, the idea for this one was originally something that I saw on an animation here on YouTube by the channel Mashed, which is called Chainchomp Man. Chainchomp Man is just such a good mashup that I kinda just wanted to draw my own take on it. Rest assured that the other characters' ideas were all mine. I just kinda liked this one so much that I really didn't know how to top it. So yeah, credit to them. Go subscribe to Mash, they do some cool stuff. I think Mario works in the danger role too, because they're both like blue collar guys, hard-working dudes, you know, and they're both stubborn little dudes that don't never give up. Their personalities don't really align though, because, you know, Mario is a really pure and caring dude and Benji is not that. Also, the Chainchomp mix thing kinda works too, considering Denji is constantly called a dog in the anime, and Chainchomps are basically big loud dogs. The design I did here is of course very close to what they did in their video. I just kinda made a few changes that I thought would vibe a bit better. First off is the chomps in his arms, which are a bit longer here. I think the long chainsaws in Denji's arms are very important for his character silhouette and look. Like, without them, I think it's kinda weird that he's just a normal dude with a weird chainsaw head, so I wanted to have something similar for Mario here. They're like big chomps to tear his enemies apart, and I removed the eyes too, because I think they'd kinda take away from the eyes that he actually has on his face. And I also gave him a bunch of chains wrapped around his arms and neck. I mean, he is the Chainchomp Man after all, so I think that adds to the design too. Makes him look more unhinged. His pose is supposed to mimic the iconic Chainsaw Man pose in the cover of the first volume of the manga, but instead of stepping on a pile of, I guess those are demon corpses or something, he's stepping on some Mario blocks, because I'm keeping it family friendly here, guys. The buttons on his overalls in the mesh animation are positioned more on his chest, so I moved those to his hips instead, so they look more like they have some functionality, I guess. Having him wear these straps instead of actual overalls was a good idea, to be honest. You kinda wanna keep this sort of office look to him. It's one of the big things in the series, you know, they all wear suits, is the public safety's visual identity. It kinda keeps the Chainsaw Man vibe. I mean, the colors pop a bit more too, and the classic Mario red and blue honestly works super well with this kind of outfit. Though to be fair, it kinda works really well with any outfit, but if you change those colors, you kinda lose the character entirely. So yeah, other than that, the guys at Mash did a really cool thing with their mashup. Having his tongue stick out like that is very in line with how Denji does it in the anime too. His eyes are like sorta crazy looking and unhinged, and I like how they're big dot eyes, just like how Denji has this glowing arch dot eyes sorta hidden in his chainsaw head too. So yeah, it's undeniably goofy, but I love it, and I hope you do too.
You underestimate my power!
Okay, so for power, I chose someone that I think matches her vibe in like an aesthetic level. The Inkling character is, you know, more so an after for the player in the Splatoon games, but the orange Inkling we see in Smash and promotional material and stuff just has this vibe to her. This sort of gremlin troublemaker vibe, you know? I mean, look at her. It's a vibe that fits power super well. I mean, that's sort of her whole character. Also, they're both sort of redheads with sharp teeth, so there's that too. Inklings have this bouncy, twitchy energy when they move, which I think is very power-coded. I think it's an ideal fit, honestly, and the design was a quirky one to do. I kinda mixed this Splatoon and Chainsaw Man art style. Splatoon's is super cartoonish and Lee's a bit more chibi-like, kinda. So the mix-up sorta made her look a bit short, but I think it looks cute. Her outfit is basically a mix-up of the two characters. I gave her the blue coats that Power wears, while keeping the t-shirt and shorts that Inkling uses. I mean, they were already a pretty good match to Power's original clothes too, so, you know. And I think Inkling's bright orange hair with the blue coats makes her silhouette pop a lot more. Her hair is basically the same general shape as Power's, but it's actually made of tentacles, just like Inkling, which is a bit wacky, but I like it. I mentioned that both characters have sharp teeth, but Inkling's is a bit weirder. She has like regular human teeth sometimes, but also these two sharp mandibles in the upper side of her mouth, with one additional one in the middle of the lower side, so those are weird. Also, I gave her those white headphones just because they look kinda cool around her neck like that. And to mimic Power's red horns, these horns are actually these wavy, weird, wiggly horn thingies that some Octoling enemies have in the games, but painted red. I don't know what they are, so don't ask me. She has pointy ears just like Inkling does, and she's in this cocky, full of herself pose, which I think is very fitting for Power.
Con.
Okay, so Aki is kind of our Sasuke character in the series, kinda, sorta. I mean, whenever there's a trio in an anime series, there's always gonna be the quirky main character, the edgy Sasuke one, and girl. He's our edgy guy, even though I like that he has more personality than just being the serious edgy one. And he's this one dude that really has a tendency to take responsibility of things. And I think that description also fits Link very well. Link is a serious guy most of the time. I mean, he literally never talks, but he can also be sort of a goofball. I mean, just look at most of the stuff he does in Breath of the Wild. This dude is goofy. I love him. I think he fits Aki very well. Strong, quiet guys with a big sword, I think it works. First thing I did in the design was to have Link's ponytail be pointed upwards, just like Aki's, which is very goofy, but that's sort of the point. Gotta be honest though, I'm not a huge fan of Aki's hair. I think he might actually look better without the ponytail, but that's just me. But I'll agree that the ponytail is a good element to make his silhouette more unique, and I think it worked well for Link in here as well. I made his suit be sort of a dark blue color instead of the usual black, because I think that looked more fitting for Breath of the Wild Link, given his usual blue clothes, which is also why his tie is a light blue, like that. And the buttons on his suits are also little Triforces, so look at that. I gave him the little brown straps that Link uses in his outfits in the chest area there, and that's the thing holding his Master Sword to his back. I think the mixture of modern style suits with old things like swords and sword straps like that actually make for a cool design, especially with a magical element like his arm is in there. And of course, needless to say, the Master Sword is there in place of his usual cursed katana. I got the idea to have his Tears of the Kingdom Rauru arm, mostly because of his pose. It's kind of a classic Aki pose, doing that figure thing to summon the Fox Demon, but now instead of that, it's because of his quirky glowing arm, which is also why his suit's sleeve is ripped like that, which is not only a nod to how Link's sleeve is ripped in the game, but also adds a bit of asymmetry to the design that I think complements it very well. What a quirky guy, am I right? Okay, let me know if you like this one. I think it was a nice fit. Oh, Himeno, you are too good for this show, dude. I love Himeno, guys. She's a really cool and complex character. I think the most iconic imagery associated with her is her being drunk and having a beer, so that's what I drew her doing. Palutena is kinda similar to her in how she's very teasy and quirky, like a very jokey character, but is very much able to lock in and be a badass when she wants to. So yeah, it is a bit curious to see the very graceful, divine vibe of Palutena mixed up with Himeno's grounded and messy human energy. But I think the contrast that makes this idea more interesting too. Honestly, one of the hardest bits on these projects was getting a bunch of characters that, like, most of them wear suits and trying to make them as distinct as possible, but hey, I think I succeeded. With her here, I think making her look less stiff and more laid back made her silhouette stand out a lot more. I think Himeno's style looks better without the suit jacket, so I dropped it for Palutena here. Although I was gonna leave her tie, I sort of replaced that for the little sun necklace thing that Palutena wears in her original design. It's kinda weird, but I like it. She has her eye patch, of course, and her hair is sort of modeled after, like, imagine what Himeno's hair would look like if it was really long like Palutena's. Sort of messy, maybe a bit greasy, but it's stylish all the same. She's of course is having a big cup of beer. She's, you know, kind of tipsy here. And like, I thought of maybe making her pants maybe like a shade of red or green to match Palutena's original color palette, but I guess keeping it black like Himeno's suit was better while sprinkling some of Palutena's gold beads around in a more subtle way. She's also wearing Palutena's typical sandals and only wearing one sock on her left foot, because, you know, she's quirky like that. She has a sort of drunk grin on her face, and her pose is supposed to be laid back and relaxed, not really caring if she's looking proper or not. You know, she's a carefree gal. So yeah, here's Palomino. Yeah, I don't know if I should do the name mix-up thing. Okay, so maybe the pick for Kobeni is kind of a weird one. Kobeni is like this super shy and awkward gal that is just really nervous and anxious all the time, which honestly, who can blame her? But she's also one of the most capable and dangerous members of the cast, which she wants to be, and I think that's pretty cool. So Lucina, she's like not really ever presented to be in any way anxious or really shy and nervous, right? I mean, that's not really her thing. But I thought that this would be cute because it's kind of like a headcanon thing for me, that if Lucina wasn't like a knight or whatever, she was like a normal girl in the real world, she would probably be super awkward and shy. I don't know, I think that's funny. And I think the contrast of Lucina's elegant knight look with Kobeni's chaotic vibe reinforces that. I also thought of having Isabelle be Kobeni, that could have been a good pick too, but I used Isabelle in my TF2 video and I kinda wanna vary things a bit. So I drew her in a dark blue suit to sort of mirror the palette of Lucina's normal outfit. I think the blue helps remind us that this is in fact Lucina, although I kept those weird white thingies with an accent on her sleeves there that Lucina has. I don't know what they are, but I think it fits the overall design. She's also wearing Lucina's normal boots, and you probably noticed that I usually keep the shoes the same as the original in most of these designs that I do. Kobeni is usually shown using like a regular kitchen knife as her weapon, so what I did was turn Lucina's sword into a knife. So it's kind of like a mini sword, just ready to murder. Isn't that cute? Her hair is similar to Lucina's normal look, really. What I did was make the fringe and like the overall face area there have the same hair shape as Kobeni's. And I kept her tiara, of course. It's kind of an important part of Lucina's silhouette. Her pose is, you know, super nervous and insecure, which is fitting for Kobeni. She has her legs pressed together in fear while gripping her knife anxiously, but she has her right hand up in a peace sign, because that's, you know, the most popular Kobeni pose and stuff. And all of that with the little sword knife, I think, made for a pretty unique look. I think she looks pretty cute actually, so yeah, let me know if you agree. So Makima is probably one of the most complex characters in the entire show. Like, there's many layers for her character that I don't think get talked about enough, and that's coming from someone who only watched the anime. She appears as a nice person, you know, sort of gentle and soft-spoken, but that's just another layer to cover the monster underneath. But that itself is another layer, because underneath the monster lies a complex character with her own motivations. I think the scene where she's crying in the movies with Denji is a good illustrator of that. She's not just an evil mastermind, she's a human being who feels and does what she does for a reason. But yeah, she's pretty evil, not gonna lie. I picked Zelda to be in the role of Makima, not because Zelda is in any way evil, but I think they have similar vibes. Zelda, of course, is a character that varies a lot from each incarnation, and I think some of her strongest portrayals are those where she's this strong and mysterious character. Soft-spoken and gentle, but secretly really powerful and wise. And I think those are traits that she shares a lot with Makima, hence why I picked her. I think one of Makima's strongest points in terms of character design, other than her bright red hair, are her eyes. She has these weird, almost alien-like eyes, the eyes of someone who's 100% in control all the time, who knows what's happening and what will happen. They almost look kinda soulless. They're unnervingly focused and symbolic, with circles inside circles, referencing control. I tried to replicate those eyes in Zelda here, and I don't know if I succeeded, but I hope so. I think Zelda's gentle aura changes completely when you give her Makima's unsettling eyes. Makima's most classic look, I think, is the one where she's wearing a suit without a jacket. She wears like this big overcoat sometimes, but this I think is her iconic look. I just sort of rolled her sleeves up a bit and added Zelda's weird golden wrist thingies. Yeah, there's many things in these character designs that I just have no idea what they're called. Her hair is again a mixture of Zelda's original look and Makima's, basically having Zelda's fringe and Makima's tied up braid, which kind of works super well with Zelda, fits her regal vibe a lot. I thought her face looked kind of naked without that pink jewel that Zelda wears, so you know, I decided to add it too. She's wearing a pink tie to mirror Zelda's original palette, and their shoes are wearing the sandals that she wears in Smash. I think the pink and gold details make for a warmer palette, which maybe softens her a bit or just mirrors Makima's deceptive softness. I tried making her pose a bit of a mixture of Makima's mysteriousness and Zelda's playfulness. While Makima usually has her hand on her chin in thought, I put her hand in this position with her finger on her cheek, just like Zelda does in the game, which makes her look playful at first glance, the same way Makima seems sweet at first before you realize what she is. And I hope I managed to convey Makima's usual mysterious expression as well, because I tried. Let me know if you enjoyed my Zelda Makima. I think she's a cute one.
I need a twinkling now.
I was kinda weirded out by Angel Devil at first. I mean, the first thing he does in his first appearance is eat meat from a zombie head, which is very gross. And in the movie, he starts out as a big jackass who I had no sympathy for, but he totally grew on me. I mean, he kinda subtly starts showing signs that he's a good guy, you know, here and there. And by the end, the bond that he had with Aki was kinda sweet, even if it could use some more development. Okay, so he's an angel. So obviously Pete was the obvious choice. Except he's actually the angel devil, so I chose Dark Pete instead. I mean, think about it, isn't that like super on point? They're both angels, but also something darker at the same time. Dark Pete is literally like a demon angel equivalent or something, which is kind of the perfect match. Even though their personalities don't super align, but like, it's fine. I think the angel thing is enough justification. And I think Dark Pete is more aggressive energy, contrast with Angel's passive vibe in a funny way. So just like Angel Devil and most other characters, to be honest, he's wearing his stylish black suit, which itself already kinda fits Dark Pete a lot. I just gave his tie the little purple thing that Dark Pete has in his outfit, which again, I really don't know what it's supposed to be. But instead of regular suit pants, he's maintaining the shorts that he wears in the game, along with his sandals, which I guess adds a bit to the more androgynous nature of Angel Devil's design too. He also has those weird things with a big X on them on his legs there, which again, I don't know what they are. They look kind of uncomfortable, but Dark Pete wears them. He also has these fingerless gloves that he has in the game, and his wings are of course black, because I guess that's the biggest differentiator that Dark Pete has from normal Pete, kinda. And I think it matched the vibe for Angel's character as well. And he's got a halo, which he doesn't really have in his design, but Angel Devil does, so I think he looks better with it. He has a really uncaring and nonchalant expression, which is pretty much how Angel Devil looks most of the time, and his pose is much the same, super laid back without a care in the world. Yeah, I think this was a super inspired choice. I pretty much sort of always ignore Dark Pete whenever he appears, so this was a good way to have him included on a project of mine. And here we are. The whole reason I even made this video. If you watch my review of the Chainsaw Man movie, you will have a very basic idea of how much I love Reze. Believe me, I barely scraped the surface on that topic there. I literally planned to make a whole video about it. Reze is just so amazing. So I thought it'd be just as amazing if I mix her up with another one of my favorite characters ever, Rosalina. Like literally, I just love them both so much, so this mix up here just sort of ended up being the ultimate character for me. And I sort of went insane too, because I did like an additional 4 extra drawings of her to complement this, each one with a different iconic Reze pose. We'll just go through them in order. So Rosalina taking the role of Reze, I think she actually works really well. They're both these really alluring, beautiful women that feel super warm and comforting to be with, while at the same time having some mystery behind them. They have that look of someone who's always ahead of you. Granted, their mysteries are very different, but even then there's still some similarities. They both lost their families at a very young age and were sad and alone about it. And I guess the difference is that Rosalina found a new family in the Lumas, while Reze just sort of stayed alone, used and experimented on by the USSR. So yeah, I think it was a great fit. I tried making the face really close to how Reze looks, because really her expressions and mannerisms in the movie are probably some of her most important traits. It's really what gets the viewer completely smitten with her. So I had to capture that well. This sort of slyly warm vibe that she has. Reze has this sort of triangular-ish shape in her upper eyelids that I think are very crucial to make her unique expression work, as well as this knowing green that's both mysterious and enticing. The hair is, again, a mixture of the two characters. We have Rosalina's big eye band covering her eye, while the back part there is tied up in Reze's regular bun. And she's wearing the star-shaped earrings too, of course. Her outfit is basically Reze's normal look, but with Rosalina's main colors. And I replaced the little thingy that she wrapped around her neck there with Rosa's silver star emblem. Now you may be wondering why her shirt is now sort of a crop top there, and the reason for that is because I kinda wanted to drive home the fact that Rosalina is really tall. So tall in fact that she probably should have worn a bigger shirt. Come on, man. I jest, but yeah, she's super tall. I intentionally gave her really long legs and arms to really drive home that fact, so, you know, there you go. If you're a big Rosalina fan like me, you'll know that her being over 7 feet tall is very important. So mixing up her impressive height with Reze's sharper and confident posture made for a really cool aesthetic. I guess it can both be a bit intimidating, but at the same time, maybe comforting and motherly. I kinda kept her shorts pretty much the same, as well as her shoes, which I just changed the color to match Rosa's silver ones. And I tried having her pose be this mix of sort of vulnerable and laid back, like someone who's mysterious but comfortable in her own skin, kinda. Since she is Rosalina, I think it works for her to have sort of distinct softness and maturity in her posture, while being a bit loose too, letting her arms hang behind her like that. She of course keeps Reze's grenade pin on her choker there, and we'll see what she turns into right now. It's a pretty simple depiction, but with the amount of drawings I did for Rosalina, I kinda was too lazy to draw her whole body. So yeah, the bomb demon in the Smash universe is now the Bomberbill, formerly known as the Banzai Bill, because if you didn't know, they changed Banzai Bill's name to Bomber Bill after the Mario movie. Not to be confused with Bullet Bill. Those are smaller and don't have mouths, and they also have arms, I guess. I picked the Bomber Bill mostly because of the mouth, really. Reze's bomb demon form has this really creepy, sharp teeth, so I thought that Bomber Bill's wicked smile would be really fitting. I think it matches well with Reze's almost playful mannerisms when she's in her demon form. Her third drawing is pretty similar. I just had to draw her in this most iconic Reze pose, you know, taking out the grenade pin from her choker. I think that's very much the image that we all associate Reze with. I mean, it was the cover of one of the manga's volumes after all. I really wanted it to look super close to that. I think I nailed her expression here actually. I'm pretty happy with it. Very close to the original while having its own charm, I think. The next one is the also very iconic shot where Reze is holding the daisy that Denji threw up and gave her, which is gross, but the scene is cute and she looks so pretty here, dude. Oh my god. So naturally I replaced the daisy with a fire flower, and her outfit as a whole is very similar to what Reze is wearing in the scene too. Although in this I made her shirt a dark blue so it fit Rosalina more, I think, with a star emblem on it as well. And of course, she has a super peaceful and ethereal smile, which, side note, I do think it was a real smile that came from the sweet gesture of receiving a flower from someone, or at least I choose to believe so. And the last one is a bit more spicy, I guess, but it's also a really iconic and memorable shot from the movie. When they're swimming at the pool and Reze offers her hands to Denji to teach him how to swim, oh my god, dude, that scene is so freaking beautiful, you guys, oh my god. And for that reason, I really hope I captured the vibe of it, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with the results. I think the expression is on point, it's still mysterious, but with this undeniable warmth and care to it that I think Reze in the scene didn't expect to have. And the lighting was something pretty out of my comfort zone, so I'm glad I did it well. These soft blue colors that echo the quiet, vulnerable atmosphere of the pool scene, it felt oddly fitting for Rosalina. Her quiet warmth, hidden sadness, and unexpected tenderness, it's almost like she really actually fits the scene herself. Just thinking about that scene and that god-tier music just brings me to tears, man. It's so good. I think Rosalina brings a different kind of softness to these moments. She feels a little older and gentler than Reze, and that gives the scenarios a more comforting twist that I really like. I'm actually very happy with what I did with this one, and I think it's the perfect bit to end this video on. Yeah, I kinda went overboard with her, but it just goes to show how much Reze as a character impacted me. I hope you liked our Reze Rosalina here, or Rosalina, if you will. Okay, I said I wanted to do the mashup names, but I just couldn't help myself, sorry. And I hope you liked this video. It was a very wacky and wild project, but one I had a lot of fun with, and a lot of passion too. Like, for real, I've been thinking about the Reze movie a lot since I saw it last month. I really hope you enjoyed the designs I did here. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments, and which other Chainsaw Man characters did you maybe wanna see turn into Smash characters. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you consider subscribing and leaving a like, cause like I said, art videos take a lot of work. Have a good day, and yeah, see you next time, bye.